Thank you again, Lauren, for joining us today. Our first question is, how did you come to play the flute?
So I was in the third grade and going to a very small school, and my mother had taught me to play the recorder. And so they needed someone to play the second flute part on recorder. It was a very small school, like kindergarten through high school. And so I played the second flute part on the recorder, and then I thought the flute player, she was in ninth grade. I thought she was so cool. I wanted to be just like her. So I asked for flute lessons.
Nice.
So I came to play the flute.
Cool. So you've been playing since grade 3.
Yes.
Awesome. And from there, um, what made you decide to go to post-secondary?
Um, well, I played from grade 3 to grade 6. I quit in junior high, like many do, because I didn't want to practice. And then I think in high school I was at summer camp, and someone in my cabin had a flute, and I just started playing it and had fun playing by ear with my friend there who played guitar. Honestly, and post-secondary, it was just what I wanted to do the most. Had to fight
Cool.
a bit with my dad about that, who wasn't enamored of that idea, but
Gotcha.
yeah, it was just what I wanted to do most.
Nice. Nice. Okay, the next question is, what is your practice routine? Do you do it daily? Do you have like a 15-minute routine? What is
Well,
your...
things change as you get older. I mean, definitely when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was practicing a lot more than I do now. But 3, 4 hours a day or whatever. But I would say generally the routine is to warm up and I like doing some nice tone exercises, like from the Trevor Y tone book, or from the Moise tone book, the Sonorite. Sometimes just long tones, singing and playing, harmonics, all the good stuff. And then I always do scales, like extended scales up to high D, pretty much every
Oh,
day.
wow.
And then if I'm really busy, that might be it for now, because I'm older, I'm not as actively playing,
Right.
but sometimes I like playing studies, like sight
Oh,
reading through
nice.
studies and working on if I've got something to work on, and then I work on it next.
Cool. Thank you. Now, the next question is the best thing or the most interesting thing that you've learned from a mentor.
I've had a lot of great mentors, and one thing I really appreciate being a student of music, and we're always students of music all our life, even if we become a professional, we're still a student, was the great teachers I had. And I would say I got different things from all of them. So my first teachers were Claude Monteux and his wife Mary, who taught me a lot about tone and a lot about Baroque style, actually. And then going to university, Jim Walker, who overhauled my vibrato, which was very fast and not so good. And he was a really huge, he just completely changed my sound.
Wow.
So he was great. Then I went to Maurice Sharp, who was principal of the Cleveland Orchestra. I went to school in Cleveland, and he was principal at the time. And from him, I got lots of technique, lots of alternate fingerings that I still give to my students. Um, Lots of info about style of excerpts and solo pieces. And just hearing the Cleveland Orchestra every week was an education in itself, obviously, because one of the
Fantastic.
and then I went to Northwestern. I studied with Walford Kujala, who's still around, but he's the retired piccolo player from the Chicago Symphony, a retired professor, a flute professor at Northwestern. And he really taught me about piccolo, lots of piccolo
Hmm.
excerpts, rhythm, huge rhythm, and just everything about, I guess since I was in grad school, more advanced aspects of
Yes.
orchestral playing and solo playing as well. And I'll just get, the last mentor was Jeffrey Gilbert, who
Mhm.
has passed away, but I studied with him a lot at master classes in Florida and Minnesota and California, and had some private lessons with him when he came up to Alberta to teach. And he really influenced me with the idea of using different colors in your tone and not always playing with the same sound.
Nice.
And control, again, vibrato and colors. And I guess the one thing, if I had to nail it, if I had to say what's the main, one thing you
Yeah.
learn from a mentor, would be from Jeffrey Gilbert, who
All
said,
right.
practice success, meaning every time you pick up your flute to practice, make sure you have the technique you want, you have the rhythm you want, you have the tone you want, you have the intonation you want, you have the dynamics, the musicality.
Oh
Maybe
my
your
gosh.
passage is too slow, but
Yeah.
eventually you'll work, if you take all those things with you, you'll work it up to where you can play whatever it is you're working on. And if you start over here with something's missing too fast, you'll never learn the piece.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yes.
Our next question, what performance advice do you have? Any performance advice?
Performance advice for students. I think the main thing is, well, two main things maybe. Be prepared. Be 105% prepared, because none of us are perfect in performance. Professionals, students, anybody. None of us are perfect. So if you're kind of prepared 105%, we're all going to lose, that 5, 10, even 15%. You'll still have a really good performance if you're really, really prepared. So prepare well, practice well, and then just remember that try to serve the interests of the composer and try to play the music. You're just the vehicle for the composer, I think. And if you love the music and you can really get into the music, don't be distracted by what anybody thinks. It's you can't control what anybody thinks. So be prepared, enjoy the music. If we can all, I tell my students sometimes, think it's not about you, it's not about me either, it's about the composer, it's about the music. And I think that can help with performance nerves, which we all get.
Mm-hmm.
If a professional tells you they don't get nervous, they're lying. We all get nervous. So
Right.
the question of when you're really well prepared for your performance, you bring with that the confidence of all the good work you've done in the practice room.
Excellent. Excellent. Your favorite flute music to play or practice?
I
It's a
I
hard one,
love,
right? Because there's so many.
I mean, of course, there's Bach, which is obviously great. And I enjoy playing some of the Russian composers like Prokofiev and Tak, and Shostakovich didn't really write anything for the flute, but I always enjoyed playing Shostakovich symphonies.
Nice.
So, I might say Bach and maybe the Russian composers, but really,
Nice.
I would hate to narrow it down to any one.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay. And our final question, Lauren, is tell us something, anything that most people don't know about you. Leaves it open.
I'm
Okay.
a pretty open book, but you may not know. My good friends know I'm a travel addict. I love to travel. My husband has recently retired, and I'm sort of half retired now. So we're trying to travel as much as possible. And we just got back from a trip to Antarctica, which was absolutely amazing. So,
oh my goodness.
Maybe most people don't know that.
Okay, cool. That's excellent. Okay, that's all the questions that we have for you today. We really look forward to seeing you on the 19th. And yeah, and hopefully we get to talk some more then.
Sounds good.